David meant everything to us. Well, I'll speak for myself, to me. Our community loved him to death. He was a teacher, not a teacher, but everything he done, he helped teach people how to do things along the way. The kids, mechanics, and how to build things, and loving father, wonderful husband, wonderful best friend. Anybody that met David loved David. He was very laid back and very gentle, a very gentle man, never harsh to anybody. And David was on the fire department and rescue. He's an EMT. And 4 years ago, well, next month it'll be 4 years, he got in an automobile accident on his way home from work and hurt his back real bad. A year later, he had surgery, so the last 3 years he's been in awful pain. And he'd be in bed 3 or 4 days a week, not able to get up because of his back. But if the fire tone went off or an EMT call come out in our neighborhood, you wouldn't think the man was hurt at all because he's up and out the door in the blink of an eye. And he would rush to the scenes and size it up and call in, and and I missed a lot of fire calls because the tones would go off, they was up and out, and I'm still putting my pants on. He was just there for everybody except himself. He gave to everyone else and
very selfless.
Took very little for himself. And he was a driven man. He loved God. He loved his family. And would do anything for anybody. And I think it's just not fair. But
Far one of the best men I ever knew. I always looked up to him. He was one of the strongest men I ever knew. He taught me a lot. Everything I know how to do with my hands. Mechanics, how to fix things. And it took me a long time to realize it, but to understand why he was so gentle and why he was so laid back, And I guess it took losing him to realize. I mean, he just meant everything. I talked to him every day, no matter what about. If I was mad, I'd call him and he'd let me fuss, and then he'd tell me it'd be all right. And I knew it would be, because he said it. He meant everything. Like she said, he was a very selfless person. He never considered himself. He would put 110% in helping somebody else. If you riding down the road and saw somebody stuck in a ditch or a wreck in the ditch that hadn't been called in yet, he'd stop and help. Or when it snowed and they were stuck, he'd get them out. No matter what it was, if it was a fire call or anything like that. There'd be times when he couldn't do family functions or anything like that because he was hurting so bad. But if a fire call come in, that was his duty, and that's what he did. And that you have to respect that. And some people don't understand that, but we do. We understand that some people need help, and it's more important. And he meant a lot. I mean, if you could have seen the amount of people that came to celebrate his life when we laid him to rest, you'd understand.
He was one of the most amazing men I've ever met. When I first met Chris, before I even met David, he was so welcoming. Like, before we even went home to meet him, I already felt like part of a family. And he would every year call and sing happy birthday. And he's the only person that would do that. And I really missed that.
and couldn't carry a tune either.
It'd be early in the morning, too. He'd wake you up with it. Every year, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. And sing that. If I didn't answer, he'd leave it on the voicemail. The whole song. And you missed that.
Like Chris said, he taught me a lot about mechanics and building stuff, and a lot about the fire department and everything, and rescue. And he was always there for me. And I thought that he was really awesome. So, and I think that the community loved him a lot because he was always there for everybody.
That's one thing that I learned from my dad is hard work. To be a hard worker, how to be a hard worker, and to always provide for your family, no matter what the circumstances may be. You know, and he taught me how to treat a woman. You know, he taught me how to do everything that I know how to do. You know, I went to school for other things, but for everything that I know how to do physically with my hands, you know, and the things that I know about from my dad. And I have the utmost respect for him.
He was my husband, but he taught me a lot too. And the biggest thing he taught me how to do was love. And we were married.
Love
We
is
were
love.
together for 22 years. And in those 22 years, we never had a fight. We had some disagreements. We had one big argument, but never a fight. And we would never go to bed at night with our backs to each other, mad. And he just, all he wanted to do was love and make people happy. He was,
And I definitely get that from him.
and
I'm always trying to help everybody make them happy.
And he wanted these boys to work hard like him and be like him. And so, and me too, as far as that goes. So all of us were on the fire department, me, this one, and this one. And this one wants to be when she's old enough. And that's just not a job you take lightly. But the way he presents it, it's fun. So, or he makes it fun. And he would take, do extra things, like with the Boy Scout camp, when they would have their summer, what do we call it, Michael?
We did a
their
fire
summer camp.
prevention, the fire prevention badge. We went out there. He filled the dump tank up with water, let them get in it, swim in it. We put foam on the ground. Oh, they loved the foam. He would, and he turned the water pressure on low, and he'd let the kids spray themselves with the hose and stuff. You let them hold the hose and all this, and he was very enthusiastic on preventing fire prevention. I've seen him out there a lot of times, and I found some pictures of the actual event that we went to of him by the truck, and he was actually had a whole group of maybe about 20 kids around him. And compared to all the other firefighters couldn't get nobody else's, the other kids' attention like he could. He was just that interesting. He could make it that fun, basically.
So I had my kids out there spraying the firewall down, putting the fire out, the pretend fire. And him and my nephew and another firefighter was holding the hose. They had it on 50 pounds of pressure. Okay, so it was my turn to do it by myself. So what does he do? He cranks up the pressure, and 3 of them are holding the hose, and when I get on it,
He's a jokester. Yeah. He's a jokester.
And see, people that don't know the inner him on the outside, they don't know what a little devil he was.
Mm-hmm.
But in a fun way,
Yeah.
a jokester way.
I had my friend, the first time he met him, he was more likely to go talk to her. But then he wasn't my dad, but my dad was the one that was actually the lenient one. She was a strict one.
Well, you turn out good though.
Yeah, I did.